This video accompanies part 45 of the Digital DJ Tips Learn to DJ free email course. Now if you haven't got the course, please go and sign up. As I say, it's free and you can do so at digitaldjtips.com/join. You receive weekly emails with a lot more material than just these videos, so it's well worth doing. Today we're talking about how to make people dance. Now you might think that's a really silly thing to say. I mean, surely that's what DJs do, that's what you're in this game for. Well, it isn't always, of course. You could be DJing on the radio or playing lounges or all kinds of things, but generally we're here to make people dance. What I guess I'm trying to get over today is how to deal with it when people aren't dancing. What to do, how to cope with it, and how to make sure that in the end they do. So the first thing to really get your head around is the fact that often it's not your fault if people aren't dancing. You know, you could be in a venue where people are hanging from the rafters and it's going crazy one week and next week it's just not happening. And you know, a lot of this stuff is nothing to do with the DJ. It could be to do with all kinds of things. It could be to do with the mix of people in. It could be to do with the fact that there's a few birthday parties in. It could be to do with the fact that your town's football team has won that week or lost that week. You know, there's all kinds of things. It could be the weather. It just isn't all in your hands, and not everyone has come out to hear you. See, when you get your head around that, you can relax a bit more because you think, you know what, if I do a tight professional job here, then it's in the hands of the gods really what happens next. You know, you might have a bad night with a few people dancing, you might have the place rammed and rocking by half an hour in, but it's not always up to you. So it's worth remembering that at the beginning. Having said that though, there are a few things that are in your control, a few sneaky tricks that I've learned over the years. It's worth knowing. And I'm going to divide these into the music quality, as in how good it sounds, and the lighting. And actually, let's throw in with the lighting, let's throw in the general atmosphere. I'll come back to that. So the music first. Now, we all know that when you're warming somewhere up, when people aren't dancing, you shouldn't be banging out all the hits that they're going to want to dance to later on. Well, there's one reason why, because they're going to want to dance to them later on. But another thing is, it's quite aggressive and it's quite off-putting to hear music that you know you want to be a bit drunker to, you know, or a bit more settled into. Played too early. You want to be warmed up early on. You've just got rid of your coat, you've just got your first drink in, you're just sizing the place up, maybe you've never been there before, just working out where everything is. You're not going to dance at that point, and a savvy DJ knows that. So your music is very important and your warm-up's very important. It's worth having some records which you know are going to make people dance. Now, that doesn't mean that they will every time because of the things we've already talked about, but you know that even if they don't make people dance, they're going to get people in the mood. And you get those records just by being a good DJ, by listening around, by going out yourself, especially going to the same venue that you're DJing in. And of course, if you DJ somewhere regularly, then you know the records that start to get people moving. I always like to think of kind of dancing like an iceberg. The bit that's poking out of the water is when the dance floor is full, but there's this big bit below the water that you can't really see unless you've got a trained eye. And you know, it's feet tapping, it's people leaning over to their friends and saying, I like this one. It's the girls starting to move a bit and drinking their drinks a bit quicker so they can get another one in and then hit the dance floor. It's all these little things, and by playing music which is subtly building and at the same time keeping an eye on people, you can start to see these signs and you can start to get a feeling. And we used to set our watches by when the dancing was going to begin, the club that I was a resident in for a decade, and we were generally right, but that's because of these little signs that you knew. So there's your music bit. The other thing, the other little sneaky trick is your music quality. Now what I mean by that is the volume and the EQs and how you've got it all set up. It's a mobile DJ stock trick, this one. A mobile DJ, quite often when mobile DJs had all this tons of gear, and quite a lot of the time they still do, they used to have a kid who carried the gear around with them, and this kid was someone learning DJing. It could be you know, and they used to let this guy, well, I say let him, they used to kind of get him there to set everything up. The guy would set everything up and he'd play a few records early on. But the savvy mobile DJs would be the ones who made sure that he wasn't allowed to play past a certain volume, and that maybe a couple of the bass bins weren't plugged in, or that the bass was down. And you can do exactly the same thing wherever you're DJing, whether it's mobile or weddings or in a club or in a bar, whatever. Start off with the volume deliberately lower. Bands do this a lot. You'll often hear a support act where the sound quality is just not very good, and then all of a sudden, hey, the main band come on and everything sounds great. You could do the same thing. Turn the bass down, even unplug some bass speakers and have them ready for later on. And if you think that's a cheesy trick, then just look into the career of David Mancuso from New York, one of the iconic DJs of 20, 30 years ago now. By the way, he never mixed as well. He was a selector, and he threw parties in his own apartment, a place called the Loft. which are now legendary. And one of his tricks was to leave the bass speakers unplugged for maybe the first couple of hours. But when he plugged them in, boy did everyone notice, and did it give the whole place a lift. And as I say, you can do the same. When I DJ'd warm-ups, I used to leave the bass certainly a third down until I got a few people on that dance floor actually, and then I'd whack it up, put the volume up a bit, put one of those records on that aren't banging but that you know people like, and you know that loosen things up, and you can build it that way. And I think when you're building a night, instead of going like this, it's good to go like this. It's good to deliberately hold back a little bit more than you feel you should, and then play something that warms them up. And if they don't all hit the dance floor, just quieten it down a bit. So you're kind of showing a little bit of control, and you're undulating on the way up instead of just slowly building it, or even worse, just banging it out. So there's music and music quality. What else can we control? Well, we can control the lights. Now, lights are a kind of secret weapon for all DJs. A lot of the time in a venue, you'll find that the lights are either just on a, in smaller venues I'm talking about, the kind of places that we tend to play. We're not all big club DJs. You tend to find if there's any lighting that it's on kind of auto. And you can do better than that. It's worth sizing up what you've got, and if there is a lighting guy, having a word with him, but if not, do it yourself. I used to be in charge of a whole lighting desk, so I could do this myself, but I took it upon myself to learn as I was DJing what was what. But you can use just simply turning lights off and then turning them on when you want to. If you've got a mirror ball, you could just have the mirror ball on and no other lighting. So the dance floor's kind of got a shimmer to it. It's not putting people off because there's something moving, but then when you're ready, you can turn on more lights, and you can kind of be quite, you can then do this depending on who's on the dance floor. So if no one's dancing, you don't have to bang everything on. And you can do the same with the smoke as well. Just a little squirt of smoke every now and then, just to loosen it up, take the corners off the dance floor, make it a bit more inviting, and then bring the lights in when it's good and proper, when it's a good time to. So I think the next bit, and the final bit of this jigsaw about how to get people to dance, is to understand that it is a waiting game. At the end of the day, people need to have that couple of drinks, they need to loosen up, you need to get the numbers in. If it's a quiet night, that's going to take longer. It is a waiting game, and despite everything I've just told you, I guarantee you, if you're a new DJ, when you're faced with that empty dance floor, you're going to crack and you're going to think, oh bloody hell, fill up, and it seems like hours, it seems like forever, and it isn't forever. Trust me, put yourself outside the DJ box and you'll see, looking up, you'll see it isn't forever. It's the first hour or two, it really doesn't matter. It's how it should be. We've got a new baby, and our little baby girl, when she cries for 10 minutes, it's a cliche with kids, but it seems like hours. And if you're not the one trying to stop her, you think, no, it's all right, baby's crying, all that. But if you're the one sat in that room in the middle of the night trying to stop this bloody thing crying, it does seem like forever, and you can lose your cool, and you can forget everything you know. Now the trouble is, when you're DJing, if that happens and you start playing inappropriate music and you start sweating and you start looking like you're not having fun and you just lose it, well look, your job there is to lead the dance floor. Your job is to relax people. Your job is to smile and have the right body language and be playing the soothing music that gets people in the mood without going too mental. Your job is to lead the party, and you can't lead the party if you are cracking up because you've forgotten everything this video has told you. So be cool, keep a smile on your face, keep the music building slowly but with twists and turns, have your secret weapons in store and use everything you've got. Now I'm going to drop you in one final big DJing secret at the end here, and if you don't take on board anything else that I've told you, this one's going to get you out of jail. Play for the girls. The beginning of a night is when the girls will want to dance, the boys will follow them onto the dance floor. It does not happen the other way around. Certainly it doesn't happen the other way around anywhere I've played in my whole DJing career. The girls will dance first, the girls will lead the party, boys will follow. If you're in any doubt as to what to do next and you don't remember anything else about how to get people to dance, put a couple of tunes on that you know girls like and will sing along to, that your girlfriend likes, or that you've seen getting the girls dancing. And I promise you, if nothing else works, that is what's most likely to kickstart your dance floor. So I hope this has helped, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you, as always, for watching.